Good morning, students. Welcome to Ganviar School of Education, Suresh Ganviar University. I'm Dr. Sonia Kaur Bansal, and today I will be teaching you about the topic individual differences, meaning, and causes in the subject psychology of teaching and learning. So, students, my learning objective of today's class to tell you about what is the individual differences according to different definitions, and what are the different types of individual differences, and what are the causes, and what is the role of education in individual differences. So let's understand, students, what is individual differences, because it's a very important topic from the point of view of your teaching, and it's really very important from the point of view of understanding your learners, so that your teaching will be objective, fulfilled, and there would be definitely behavioral changes among students when you teach them. All right, students, so let's understand about individual differences in today's class. So, first of all, students, we are going to see about some definitions in individual differences. And in that, first of all, I would like to quote you some important definitions which are given by some important scholars. So, first of all, I'm taking the definition of Trevor James. So, according to Trevor James, variations or deviations from the average of the group with respect to the mental or physical characters occurring in the individual member of the group. Individual differences member of the group are called individual differences. So just try to understand, students, that when we are talking about individual differences, so according to James Trevor, we are actually talking about some variations, or there are some deviations. So just understand it in that way, that nobody is alike, nobody is same. There may be definitely some variation in the nature, in the appearance, in the way the person lives. So this maybe belong to the PMSC, which I have told you: physical, mental, social, and emotional characteristics of any person. So when an individual member is actually different from each other, so groups are of individual differences, and this is how they are actually being treated differently in a particular group also. So all right, students, so this is about according to Trevor James, that there you will be seeing some individual differences in the nature. Now let's understand next definition about Skinner, C.E. Skinner. And he says that today we think of individual differences as including any measurable aspects of total personality. So, whatever is measurable in your total personality, that would lead to individual differences. So, according to Skinner, this definition is also very important. So, you must remember about it. According to Woodworth and RS and Marquess DG. So they say that individual differences are found in all psychological characteristics, physical, mental abilities, knowledge, habit, personality, and character traits. So, students, try to understand that individual differences are basically found in psychological characters. When a person, we all are human beings and body structure is same, but there is difference in the way we think, way we live, and the thought process we do have. And also, it is actually related to physical and mental abilities as well. And then knowledge, habit, and personality and character traits. So we cannot say that all the individual in are having same kind of habits. Even the siblings do differ in having the habits and traits and personality characteristics. So this is how Woodworth and Marquis has have explained about individual differences. Now, students, let's understand about the meaning of individual differences. What is individual differences? So when we actually you must have seen many people saying about it, that the particular person is thin and that is fat, and wow, the person is very intelligent. Or maybe in my class there are various type of students. Some of them are really very intelligent, and some of them are really very average kind of learners, and some of them are slow learners. So when we actually see all around it, so we can actually define the individual differences in two ways: the individual differences which are actually inherited, and the differences which are based on the acquisition, or it may be acquired. So individual differences actually lead to the different kinds of success the person achieves in the life, and the ratio of the satisfaction how the person actually achieved in the life. So individual differences can be actually defined in inherited and acquired way, and the characteristics which are related to physical, mental, and temperamental, they are considered to be acquired from inherited. Heredity plays an important role, students, in deciding the individual differences. And this is really very important when we talk about heredity, because heredity is the factor which is actually deciding according to chromosomes, and these are actually the genetic effects which we see in a person. We have seen many people very tall, very long, as their parents are tall and long. So, but on the contrary, we have seen some small people also, short people also. So, they are, this is actually from their parents. The quality of their skin, their hair, or the way they think. So, how the IQ level is also dependent on heredity, and then temperamental. We all know that there are many people who are of extrovert, introvert, or ambivert type of nature, but scholars say like this, that many of the individuals are possessing these quite kind of qualities on the basis of their heredity. A very talkative person and his child may be the same in the temperamental conditions. So these are all actually got from heredity. Now let's understand about acquired individual differences, which we can see easily in the people that which are actually acquired from the environment. So these are students: social, cultural, educational, emotional. So once you notice them very clearly, that these are the characteristics which are actually can be acquired through polishing and through proper training. So social skills can be acquired by looking at, by observing at some person who is very good in that, and as well as cultural differences may be found in the person, the way where the person is living. Maybe the person from Rajasthan going to live in South India, and the person is living some cultural values and cultural traditions from there. So this is really quite possible that the person can acquire those South Indian traditions in his behavior. So in the same way, educational, so educational differences are mainly, we can see that it is on the basis of the any person's attitude, interest, or capabilities, or the IQ level, how the how some people are getting very higher education, and some of them are actually with a minimal education. So these are all the differences we see. And in another acquired, that is emotional. Yes, emotional, somehow some of the researchers say that this is the genetic also, but in some cases it is seen that emotional training is also given to the students when they are actually trained to express their emotions in a proper way. Maybe it is through some activities, when we especially talk about students. So when they are doing some skit or drama, it is actually the part of their emotional training. So emotional differences can also be handled, and they can be actually trained. So this is how individual differences, students, and try to understand them, that their individual differences are of two types. One, in number one category, we keep inherited differences, which are actually decided by the heredity, by the genetic effect of the parents, grandparents, and which we may include physical differences, mental differences, and temperamental differences. But in acquired differences are something in which we can train ourselves. We can actually get involved into that, and just we can learn that. So these may be social skills, cultural, educational differences, and emotional differences. So these are the differences that I have told you. So in overall, students just try to understand that individual differences are a universal thing, and nobody is same, nobody is alike. So we have to be very particular in teaching, when we are teaching the toddlers or the childhood students or the adolescent, because they have their own needs, they or their own age wise characteristics and individual differences, and teaching them would be a really very challenging task. All right, students. So let's understand more about that. I'm going to explain you about types of individual differences. So now, this is how I'm going to tell you about in types of individual differences. So first of all, let's discuss about physical differences. There are many differences which I have told you according to heredity and according to acquired form. So let's understand them one by one. So first of all, there is physical differences. As its name is very much clear in its terms. So some people are short, some people are tall in their stature, how they look. Some people are fat, and some are fair, some are whitish, and some are black. Darkness and fairness of complexion, and these are all related to physical differences among the students as well as in any individual. So some of them may be weak physical structure, some of them very stout and very good strong physical structure. So these are all the differences which are related to physical differences. And remember, students, when we are talking about individual differences and when we have taken the aspect of physical differences, on the basis of physical differences, many of the teachers actually decide their students' participation in their activities. And just for example, if you take sports activities, the teacher is going to choose those students who are very actually physically active and they are very good in sports, and this teacher is not maybe the student is not going himself. So this is how physical differences will affect their learning capabilities, efficiencies, and learning style, and the way they behave in the classrooms and in the maybe the playground. All right. So this is about physical differences. Now second differences, we are talking about differences in intelligence. So how this is very much important for us. Difference in intelligence, we all know, and I have already explained you in my many videos that there are basically three types of categories in any classroom by mean, either it is primary, pre-primary, secondary, senior secondary, or higher secondary, or the college classrooms or the university classrooms. We always find basically three types of students in a classroom. So they may be related to high IQ, average IQ, or low IQ. And definitely you will find these categories in your class everywhere. So when you are teaching, you have to be particular in dealing with those different IQ levels. So there are differences in IQ level among different individual students. We can classify the individuals from super normal, from those who are from 120 IQ, to idiots, and from 0 to 50 on the basis of their intelligence level. Many of the problems are sorted out and solved when the teacher is taking intelligence test or maybe checking their IQ test for solving particular situation or a problem. So these are the two types that we have to take in care, because all of you are going to be become prospective teachers, and it is really very important for you to handle those different IQs in a classroom, students. Clear? Now these were the two differences we have just discussed. Now physical differences first of all, then secondly we have discussed about differences in intelligence. Okay, students, now let's proceed further. Yes, differences in attitudes. So, what is the attitude? So, attitude is something that is leading anyone to do a particular task, and the attitude might be positive, negative, or the critical type of. So, individuals differ in their attitudes towards the different people, objects, institutions, and authorities. This is quite possible. Maybe many of you be liking a particular political party, but maybe I'm not liking that. My attitude is very negative towards that. In the same way, maybe with some courses, with some subjects, the students have positive attitude, but it is quite possible that it is not same with their own friends groups also. So these are the kinds of differences students that are found in their attitude. So let's understand it in a more elaborative way, that attitude is actually something that is creating different type of behavior in towards different people, different objects, different institutions and authorities, and this actually leads to individual differences among the students. So this is really very important difference, and as a teacher you must notice these type of differences among your students. Now let's discuss differences in achievement. Yes, of course, we have some individual differences related to achievement also. So, what are the achievement related differences, students? So, let's understand it also. So, achievement means what? What do you mean by achievement? Just think over it. For a second, you just think over it. So, achievement is something that has been leading, or it is actually creating opportunities, or it is actually giving you the results of your own work done earlier. So this is how achievement is defined. So this is high achievement or low achievement or medium kind of achievement can be defined. So students, it has been found through achievement test which may be taken from a teacher, that achievement tests are leading to different achievement abilities of any individual in the classroom. So these achievements, these differences are very much visible, and in reading, writing, and in learning mathematics you will see how the people, how the students are differentiating in with each other in showing their capabilities. So achievements are really very different of each other. There are no set patterns of achieving any kind of capability that the students are doing the same work. So it is not like that. We will definitely find attitudinal or the achievement differences. So it has been found through achievement tests that individuals differ in their achievement abilities, and these differences are very much visible when the students are reading something. Some of the students are doing brilliant reading, and some of the students are just trying and they are not actually able to pronounce the words properly. And maybe the writing and learning mathematics. Differences in motor ability. Yes, it is related to psychomotor ability. Just imagine students that all the students are not good in operating systems, in computers, in dance, in craft. So someone is really very specific in that. So which is leading to specific intelligence, specific ability, and more or less everyone if does it, then general ability is leading to that. So there are differences in motor ability, and these differences are visible at different stages. So some people can perform mechanical tasks easily, while others, even though they are at the same level, and they are at the same level, feel much difficulty in performing these tasks. So this is how motor ability is also a factor which is leading to the individual differences, because all the students are not same in my class. They do not perform in the same way. So this is how they actually become different from each other. Now, let's understand students' differences on accounts of sex. Yes, either it is male or female. They do different task in different way, and it is really matters a lot when the person is have are of female category or the male category. Like I'm McNamara and Turman discovered the following differences between men and women on the basis of some studies. They have conducted some studies, and their findings were like that women have greater skill in memory while men have greater motor ability. So these were the differences found on based on their studies. Then secondly, women were very superior in their handwriting work, while men excelled in mathematics and logic. Then, thirdly, women show greater skill in making sensory distinctions of taste, touch, smell, etc., while men show greater reactions and conscious of size, weight, illusion. All right, students. Then, fourthly, women are superior to men in languages, while men are superior in physics and chemistry. So, this is how their gender based studies have revealed many things about it. Then, women are better than men in mirror drawing. Faults of speech, etc., in men were found to be three times of such faults in women. Then there was one more finding that women are more susceptible to suggestions, while there are three times as many colorblind men as there are women. So these are the differences on the basis of their gender. How women do behave differently in a situation, and how men do behave differently in a particular situation. It really depends on their gender. And many times it is said that women are multitasking and men are focusing on a particular one thing at a time. So, this is nothing that can be acquired. This is actually on the basis of their gender. Next, students, we are going to discuss about racial differences. Yes, when we are talking about individual differences, so it is dealing with racial differences also. And there are different kinds of racial differences, and differences of environment is a normal factor in causing these differences. Carl Birmingham has composed a list on the basis of differences in level of intelligence among people who have migrated from to United States from other countries. On the basis of these average differences between the races, the mental age of a particular individual cannot be calculated, since the difference is based on the environment. So people do differ in according to their race, from which race they belong to. They have some set patterns of working and living their life accordingly. So this is also the important factor which is actually leading to the individual differences. The environment plays an important role when we are talking about racial differences. And according to Carl Birmingham, also there are different intelligence levels in different racial people. So this is also dependent on the individual differences. Now, next we are discussing that is in differences due to economic status. Yes, it's a very important factor, and when we talk about individual differences, so we cannot uh, keep this factor away from our discussion. When people are very well to do and the economic status is very high, then the child is actually learning, or child is actually having whatever the child wants to have. So it is really very much prominent factor and affecting factor on child's interest, tendencies, characters are caused by economic differences. Studying in a government school, private school, or living the lifestyle of a middle class family or high class family, So these are the classes, sections actually divided into the society on the basis of economic status of people. So when we are discussing about it, so we have to understand that economic status is actually giving the opportunities to many students, many learners, many children. But on the contrary, it is actually snatching the opportunities also from many learners. Just imagine students that a child from the poor family has great interest in mathematics or maybe in the computers, but due to lack of money the child is not able to pursue his higher education, and he is not able to get good admission in a very good college. So that's how the economic status is actually creating differences among the individuals. So this is very important for you to understand that why a person, why a student actually behaves in a certain way in your class. So we, as a teacher, we cannot be judgmental. We have to be very much clear in our thought process that these are my students and they have some individual differences and I have to deal them accordingly. Now, next, I'm going to talk about differences in interest. Yes, just think about your own interest. What do you like? And when I think about my own interest, that may be different from yours. So, interests are actually affected by the sex, by the family background, by the environment. So these are actually some factors which are influencing our interest very much, and some of the interests are by birth. So differences in race and nationality, etc., cause really very great differences in interest. So interest is also leading to the individual differences. We are not having same interest. Even in the class of 50 students, many students are interested in playing, while many students are interested in dancing, maybe singing, or any cultural or literary activities. So everybody is having different kind of interest and different type of taste. So this we have to understand that nobody is same. Now, next difference that I'm going to talk to you, that is emotional difference. So emotional difference is also a really great difference, and individuals do differ in their emotional reactions to a particular situation. So how this emotional reaction is actually very much different. In earlier slides I have told you that emotional training is really required to the students, and that's why if the children are getting proper emotional training, then they will be actually well trained in giving their reactions. So but this is really very different. In a situation, one student is reacting in a very aggressive way, and in the same situation another student is not reacting in aggressive way. Maybe he is very calm, composed, and thinking over the various aspects of the situations. So this is how the emotional differences are really a big question on individual differences, and it is actually some, we can easily make out of it that some people are really irritable and aggressive, and they get angry very soon without any cause, and there are others who are of peaceful nature and do not get angry very easily. They are calm, composed, reserved in their nature. So, at a particular thing, an individual may be so much enraged that he may be prepared for the worst crime like murder, while another person may only laugh at it. So, this is how emotional turbulence is in the mind, and the factors may be really. Due to family background or environment or the education, these must be the leading factors, but it has to be understood that there are emotional differences in students and the teacher has to deal accordingly on the basis of that situations. Now, Next differences that we are going to discuss about that are personality differences. What is personality? Just to be very brief about the idea of personality, I'm telling you, student, that personality is the term that has derived from the Latin term that is persona, and it means appearance, or it's a face mask, and it is the personality which is actually composition of outer appearance plus as well as your own attributes. So, defining way can be different from the traditional way of defining personality and the modern way of defining personality. In the traditional way, the personality was defined as how you look. Your appearance was main thing. But in modern way, your appearance plus your attributes, your attitudes also define your personality. And on the basis of differences in personality, different types of personality, the individuals have been classified into many groups by the many scholars. Allport has given many classification. Jung has given many classifications. Spranger has given many classification. And just to understand it more clear way, I'm just discussing Spranger and Jung's classification in front of you. And now, Jung and Spranger, they were really very much interested in studying about personalities. So, for example, Spranger has classified personality into six main types that are theoretical, economical, aesthetical personality, social personality, political personality, and religious personality. So, what they are in their nature, you just try to understand with the terms what is said about them. So, first of all, Sprenger is talking about the theoretical personality. Theoretical personality is that personality which is more on theories, principles. There are many people you must have seen that they work according to their principles, their theories, they have their set pattern of living the life. And there are many people who are just very easygoing and they are not bothered about their principles and their ethics. Okay, then second type he has given that economic principle, and these people are actually called money minded also. In every situation, in everything, they actually bring the matter of economy or the money. So these type of personalities also differ in their nature, and you actually you see around you in your environment, you will find, if you look very closely, you will find these type of personalities around you. Then aesthetic personalities, there are many personalities who are very aesthetic in their nature, they do anything very beautifully. The painters mainly, they are included in that, or the sculpturists, so they are included in that. So any person who is very aesthetic about the particular work is called the aesthetic, and Sprenger has really identified this type of personality in a very good way. Then social personality, there are many people who are very social in social means good in social skills, adjustment, sharing, talking to others, and being friendly very soon with others. So these are the personalities which we find according to the Sprenger. And then political, joining a political party, thinking about district, thinking about nation and international. So very much interested in political issues, what's going on in the country and out of the country, in the world. So these are the personalities we see around us. And Sprenger has also told about religious personality, spiritual personality. They are more actually of spiritualistic nature, and they believe in God, and whatever happens in their life, they believe that it is actually the mercy of God. And if something is not happening right to them, it is not right with them, that God is not happy with them. So these are the type of personalities that Spranger has given. Okay, students, so just remember these type of personalities. Six type of personalities are discussed by Sprenger. Now Jung has classified mainly three groups of personalities, and which is introvert, extrovert, and ambivert. Introvert personalities are those personalities, students, who are actually very calm, composed, and reserved type of nature, and they do not actually easily express anything what's going on in their mind. They are not very much expressive when they have to be expressive. Okay, but extroverts actually they express themselves very easily, and what do they want, they actually tell it, no matter where, either it is in a personal way or public way, so they express it. But ambivert is definitely an another type that Jung has classified, and it is really a fact that most of the Indians are ambivert of type nature, and this ambivert is actually something that when according to the situation a person is becoming introvert or person is becoming extrovert. So this is the combination of introvert and extrovert personality, that is ambivert. Clear, students? So these are the differences we have discussed according to the basis of personality, that how what kind of personality you are having, you will behave in that certain way only. Clear? Now next proceed. Now differences due to nationality. Yes, it is also a great difference factor that is actually making different from each other, that is differences due to nationality. So individuals of different nations differ in respect of physical and mental differences, interest and personality, etc. Why do we say some great things like any country, like we say Russians are tall and stout, Cyclones are short and slim. Germans have no sense of humor. They are very serious. Then yellow races are cruel and revengeful. Americans are hearty and frank. Indians are timid and peace loving. And the like observation enter into our common talk when we actually discuss with each other. So this is actually the effect of nationality that the person is feeling and the person is going through. Okay, so this is also the major factor which is affecting the individual differences. Now students, let's understand some causes of individual differences, as how these individual differences is actually very important when we are discussing this. So first of all, I'm discussing about heredity. Heredity plays an important role, as I have already told you. Some heretical traits bring a change from one individual to another. That's why person look different, behave different, because heretical factor are also there. So, an individual's height, size, shape, and color of hair, shape of face, nose, hands, and legs, so to say, the entire structure of the body determined by his heretical qualities. So, intellectual differences are also to a great extent influenced by the heredity factor. So, students, we can see that heredity factors really play important role in anybody's individuality. We really think a lot about heredity when we see a person, and it is easily understood that when we see a person, that this is the heredity of the person, that parents are like this, that's why the child is like this. All right, so heredity is really a very important factor, important cause of individual differences. Next factor which plays an important role, that is environment. So environment brings individual differences in behavior, activities, attitude, and style of life characteristics and personality, etc. Environment does not refer only physical surroundings, but also it refers the different types of people, society, their culture, customs, traditions, social heritage, ideas, and ideals. So this is how it is created. Race and nationality. Race and nationality is one cause of individual differences. Indians are very peace loving, Chinese are cruel, Americans are very frank due to race and nationality. So these are also the factors which really affect the individual differences. Gender. Yes, due to sex variation, one individual differs from another. Men are strong in mental power, and it is considered that on the other hand, women are on the average show small superiority over men in harmony, in memory, language, aesthetic sense. So women excel in the men in shouldering social responsibilities and have a better control on their emotions. So this is how it is really very important for everyone to understand. Now next is age. So age is another factor, students, which is responsible bringing the individual differences. Learning abilities and adjustment capabilities naturally grow with age. So when one grows in age can acquire better control our emotions and better social responsibilities. So when a child grows, then this maturity and development goes side by side. So that's why it is said when a child is doing some mistake, we are naturally avoiding that. Okay, the child, he is a child, she is a child, let him be do that. But when a person gets matured, we are not easily digesting that thing, and the adjustment level is really required high, and learning ability is also required very high by that time. Now education. So education is one major factor which brings individual differences. There is a wide gap in the behaviors of educated and uneducated persons, and all traits of human beings like social, emotional, intellectual are controlled and modified through proper education. So this is how the education is really playing very important role in someone's deciding factor how the individual would be. So this is actually leading to individual differences, and this is really very major factor. Now students, in very brief I'm going to discuss role of individual differences in education. So let's discuss that. Limited size of the class first of all. Then generally there are 50 or more than 50 students in a class, and in such a large class, what the role of individual differences in giving education? When we are talking about education, then definitely the education would be given according to the individual differences. So in that case, what would happen? So when first of all limited size of the class would be there, and generally there are more than 50 students in a class, in such a large class, it is not possible, it is really not possible for the teacher to pay individual attention to the students. So the size of the class should be small, and it should be divided in into various units, so that after classroom work their different various difficulties may be found out. Okay students, so limited size of the class is really very important. Now proper division of the class. So now there are separate classes for the students who have different intelligence. So while bringing about this classification, the teacher should keep in mind the difference in age, interest, emotional, and social qualities as well. So proper division of the class must be there, limited size of the class must be there, and then next home task. Yes, you cannot give everyone a same home assignment. This is really very important from a point of view of teacher, that teacher must decide such a home assignment which can be easily done with the low slow learners as well as average learners also. We cannot always highlight the high learners, so the teacher should assign home tasks to the students while keeping in view their individual differences. All right. Then factor of sex, boys and girls are to play different roles in society, hence the factor of sex should be kept in mind. Curriculum, uh, the curriculum should be modified, and all types of needs must be fulfilled, and a large number of subjects should be included in the curriculum, so that the education should be actually provided to each child according to his interest, needs and abilities. Curriculum should not be rigid, but it should be flexible, and it is actually flexible on the point of view that is really very required. So students, it is really actually very important that curriculum is something that you must define in a very clear way. So all of you must understand that curriculum must be decided in that way that is actually finding a proper situation, proper activities of the students which are of individual differences. Now everyone understand that there are some individual situations, so individual differences are there. So everyone is there, uh, is thinking about how should be the curriculum, so that large number of should be included in the curriculum. By everyone, I mean that the people should be very much clear in their deciding factors, what should be kept in curriculum, what should not be. All right, so this is how the situation is working. Now just understand that students, these are really very important factors. Methods of teaching, educational guidance is really very important, and educational methodology, methods of teaching should be chosen on the basis of individual differences. It is not advisable and to use them and use the same method of education in all cases, and education in the case of children gifted or backward. So educational guidance must be given. Teacher should impart educational guidance to the students while keeping in view their individual educational guidance to the students. While keeping in view their individual differences, he can assist them in the selection of educational career, selections of subjects, selection of books, selection of hobbies, co-curricular activities, and in many other areas connected with education. All right, students. Now, vocational guidance. So, while keeping in view the individual differences, the teacher can guide the students in the vocation that they should adopt. So, students, I really hope that you have understood about educational differences and individual differences, and these are some references for your more study purpose. And I really believe that you will understand it in a more significant way, that how the individual differences is very important for everyone, and specifically for teachers to understand. Because if we are not understanding the significance of individual differences, then we cannot be a good teacher. So, in our class, all the students carry importance, and they are having full right to be educated. So, this is how actually the students are actually not doing that much creativity or individuality. So it is really very important for everyone to understand how the individual differences are among the students are really creating very much importance. So beyond a unique biological inheritance and the specific ways in which the culture is transmitted, the individual is shaped by particular experiences. So, an illness with long convalescence may provide satisfaction in being actually conveyed. What is the culture is transmitted. So, this is really very important for all of us to understand as a teacher, that individual differences are really very important, and each child is a unique individual and differs from every other, and presents his or her own individual problems as well. So individual differences among children are related. uh, Children are related so that we can actually the development state refers on the one hand to the level of maturation on the resultant of this actually how it is gone. So effect of experiences beyond a unique biological inheritance and the specific ways, it is not possible. All right, students. So this is now end of the class, and I really believe that you have learned well what are the individual differences, what type of different individual differences we have discussed about. Physical differences we have discussed about, uh, mental differences, emotional differences, many differences are seen. But we are really actually talking about that how it is important. So this is now actually very significant for you all, to those who are becoming teachers in future, to understand that individual differences are really very important concept, and you have to understand from the point of view that students are learning that. Okay, students, and you have to actually lead them accordingly. Clear, students? So now, see you in the next class. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and keep planning. Thank you, students.